Hi everyone, welcome back to ITOM batch 5 day 25. How are you doing guys today? Very good morning.
Morning, Ajay. Doing good. How about you?
Doing good, Pavan. Thank you so much. Okay, so I think let's get started for today's session. So before starting again today's session, I just want to check with you guys. Do you have any question first of all? Any topic which we have covered till now related to CMDB and discovery?
Hi Ajay, sorry,
Anything?
I'm having some question. So I'm trying
Yeah.
to understand. I'm trying to make sure I'm understanding correctly or not. So you have been
Mm-hmm.
mentioned we are having four types of phases. So in the discovery, scanning phase where the Shazam probe will check for the open ports, whether it's like a
Right.
WMI or something like that. So next one is the
Mm-hmm.
classification probe. It will classify the
Mm-hmm.
device whether it is a Windows or Linux or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So next is the
Yes.
identification phase and the exploration phase.
Mm-hmm.
So the probes and sensors will come in the exploration phase, right?
No, no, every phase the props and sensors are there. Means the first two phases, the sesame and classification that are completely on the props and sensor, right? The third phase in identification pattern comes in the picture and sensors is also there. Sensors is nothing but just, whoever collect your output from their target machines and pushing to service now. That's our sensors. So in indirectly you cannot see on the logs itself, but if you see on the pattern or if you see the props, their sensors are defined. Ki whatever, like just example, I'm triggering a command. What is your name? Right. And based on that command result is coming, my name is Sai Venkatesh. So based on that Sai Venkatesh, we are pulling that information and putting to service now in the respective CMDB fields. That is done by the sensors.
Okay, but you have been mentioned, probably I have misunderstood that. You have been mentioned that probes, like the mid server, like I mean the data centers, the client data centers will provide us, the mid server will provide us the XML payload where we will be parsing the data and we will be storing the CMDB tables, right?
Exactly right. So that data which is coming from the target machine that comes in the XML formats only.
Like
Sensors is Mhm.
means here, is there any part of probes and sensors are participating in this process?
Definitely right. That's there. Props and sensors are doing means props are sending that out input to that machine to collect the output.
Okay,
You are still confused? Let me show you directly on the system. One moment.
okay. Sorry about
Okay,
that.
so no issues, no issues. And it's a good question. If you have any doubt or anything you're asking, that's nice, right? So let me quickly share my screen. Let me know once my screen is visible to you.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, let me do one thing. I'm going to directly discovery schedule. Let me run the quick discovery on the same IP. I'm just running. Okay, my discovery has been started. Okay, the first thing as you see the Sesame here, right? So Sesame, this is a prop triggered here in the first step as an output queue in ECC external communication channel that it's reversed basically, right? So output is an input or input as an output basically in simple words if I say. So that's trigger is Sesame prop to get the to trigger some commands to get an output, right? In the output queue, right? Here that's the ECC queue which comes and as an input, and here the data comes as an payload in XML payload, and that we called sensors. If I just quickly showcase you in that different way, one moment. and that's defined already, right? So if I go to props, if I open this one, these are the props and sensors which is individually working or matrix, right? But if I just go to here and if I put Sesam, right? So this is my Sesam prop, right? So that's triggering on the first step. And if I going down here, if you see, this is but first prop which is going to be triggered as a Sesam, and here it's mentioned some prop parameters, which sensor is reacting to that particular one that says scripts, right? Says a JavaScript sensors for Sesam, which is reverting or means it's just what sensors do, collecting the data from the target machine, and through that one we are trying to manage or updating the CIs, whatever information is required, right? So that particular basically in simple words, this particular script will work in the backend to do that particular things, right? So that's the sensor. If you see class multi-sensor or sensor, it's a sensor, right? So that's working in backend. So the thing is only if we are not getting the required output from the target machine, then we can check that particular sensors. But my observation is that's not happening due to any without any reason. If something is there, means some access issues or some other things is there, that's only you're not able to get the result output results what you're looking for, right? So that's the script which is working in the backend, right? So the first prob is going to be triggered, then Sesam a sensor will since comes in the picture. The same way, if you see that next is running WMI classify, so I can go again in the props, and if you see here, this one WMI runner is there. I just opening anyone. See, here it's also there are different fields, right? Based on that it's identifying. But here no sensors they have defined it. Might be they have defined it somewhere else. Let me see. Yeah, here also included by multi-prop, right? So multi-sensor script. Okay, so here they have not defined any sensors because we are not doing or we are not collecting any data from the target machine. In classification phase, if you understand correctly, we are just checking for the credentials which is available here, means in ServiceNow instance itself, right? So which credentials it's tried, which things is done, that's happening internal in ServiceNow itself. That is not going outside to the target machine, right? So if I just quickly showcase you, see, so this is my output prop, means the input command which that is triggered from here. And if you see that, but based on that, they are putting the all informations here in the parameter values, right? And that parameters is going to be triggered to get or check that informations, right? And if I come back here to another one, and if you showcase you this one here, you can see like what informations is collected as a I can say based on the credentials and which credentials ID is tried. So this is the credential ID. If the credential ID is not there, it means whatever the credentials is available for Windows in that in your system that has been tried. So based on the credential ID, you can find out which credentials they have tried and if not, then you can also see which credentials have been tried and that logs available here itself, right? So it's props triggering the input means to running that particular commands, and sensor is gathering that output to put it into ServiceNow as an XML logs or XML data, right? But that props comes in the first two phases, right? In the third phase, identification, the pattern comes in the picture, which is horizontal pattern discovery OS servers. So that will be triggering. And again, With that pattern's horizontal discovery prop, because that pattern is going to be triggered with the horizontal discovery prop, sensors is also there again, right? So if I show you this one, yeah, this one. Right. You can see here it's also sensors that react to this prop. But under this horizontal pattern prop, you are triggering the actual pattern which you have written to collect all informations. Or again, one more thing also want to just to simplify to you. There is no much difference in the pattern, right? In simple words, if I say example, if props, right? How only, one or two commands. Props is doing a specific one or two commands job, right? But pattern is written in that way कि you can run the multiple commands or multiple steps, or you can collect more information there, right? So here might be 100 or 200 commands which is triggering in which is triggering step by step. Okay, so that's only simple difference. End of the day, sensors is getting the output, means collecting the output in XML format. That's only three things which we are going to utilize. So don't be confused. Only the first two steps props are going to utilize. And after that, the pattern comes in the picture for identification and exploration. And I hope it's clear to you now.
Yes, Sanjay, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, no issues. Any other questions from anyone else? No? Okay, no. So let's move to the next thing. I think discovery is completed for that. Let me close the windows. The next thing is CMDB workspace and the deduplicate task, right? So as I already mentioned to you guys, but what ServiceNow is trying to do, the ServiceNow is trying to put everything on the workspaces, right? So as you see, one is CMDB workspace, service mapping workspace is also available, discovery admin workspace. I think we have not covered this one as well. And then, service operation workspace is there. So different workspace comes in the picture because ServiceNow is trying to uh, uh, collate in a single workspace where an engineer or a developer wants to work, they can go and they can work on those particular things, right? So same way, discovery admin workspace is, this is again nothing, but it just want to showcase you how many you know uh, jobs are cancelled, how many in the CCQ, how many you have get errors, right? And if you have any task related to that, you can also do discovery tuning advice. They can also trying to advising, to SSH, SNMP classification priorities you can do, right? What others you can do from the workspace certificate inventory management, as I mentioned already to you, right? CMDB workspace, you can see service mapping plugins, plus plugins, you can see it here. Also, the schedules, like, whatever discovery schedules you have configured, you can visualize those particular things here, right? So only one schedule is running for the France location, like which I've just selected the locations based on that, right? Discovery schedules, you can see the info, means it's just a I can say dashboard type things where ServiceNow put it everything on a single space or single view. You can see each and everything related to that. The same way, whatever the discovery we have run till now, you are able to see that. Means on it just showing based on the filter conditions you have applied here, but you can see, right? So we just run one discovery schedule here. It's also showcasing here, right? That's their diagnostics. It's something issues or something is there related to that, you can also see. from the CMD workspace, right? So I'm not going to deep down these particular things. I think it's just an I'm trying to understand like how you can do that, right? And building those particular workspace comes on the UI builder, which I'm not expert, guys. So if something related to like if anyone wants to understand how that's configured, discovery errors, how that particular tabs is going to showcase here, that's is under the UI builder part, right? So for that we need to understand the UI builder, how that's working first of all, or how this particular things is configured, right? But that's just a workspace where the things is available. So I will come back to my CMDB workspace again here. Again, as I already mentioned, this is the same thing available also, CMDB 360 Insights and Management. So what we have to do, we have to work on the duplication task. Like if you see here, important task automatically open, right? So first is deduplication task. We have 6 deduplication tasks, right? 322 duplication CIs, duplicate CIs. Orphan CIs, we have 1361, which don't have any relationships, right? And the stale CIs. If I just want to see the CIs, I can quickly see these are the orphan CIs based on that rule which we have configured last time. That's showcasing here, right? If I come back to home and if I see the stale CIs again, these are the CIs which is not updated from last 2 months out of the box, which is that still CI configuration, right? So that's why that is still CS 30256 because this is demo data and that can be possible, right? So the three things which always required to make it your CMDB healthy: the orphan CIs, stale CIs, and the duplicate one, right? So no customer wants duplicate data in their environment, right? So if I just quickly go to the deduplication task, why it's not showcasing? Okay. One more thing, like let me showcase you in different way first of all, and then we'll come to back this one, deduplication task. So here all these 6 deduplicate tasks are there. Which you can see here, and if you see the duplicate count 147, 141, 15, 2, 15, 2. Now, when you're working on the duplicate task or deduplication task, and if you want to remediate, the best thing is you have to understand the customer infrastructures, how the data is populated in the CMDB, right? The first thing is what in simple words, if I say means uh, how data is created, right? Means sometimes what happens, data is created through manual or discovery or integration, right? And if the data is creating in these three things, we need to understand, what is the IRE rules configured for that. Means identification and reconciliation rules configured for that, right? You have to be checked that one. The second thing is because sometimes ServiceNow is showing based on the IRE rules, it's a duplicate, but that CI is not actual duplicate, which is I just want to showcase you here as well. So in that case, instead of you have to remediate the duplicate task on the first place, but instead of remediating duplicate task multiple times, you have to fix your IRE rules. If your IRE rules is fixed, automatically the duplication task will, or duplicate CIs will removed and duplicate task will not be going to be created further, right? That you have to be make sure. And the third thing, while you are doing, yeah, remediating duplicate task, you have to be little careful to understand which is the old CI, which is the new CI, which have all the informations or necessary informations available, right? Because as you know, CMDB is referenced with the multiple other, processes like incident, change, problem. So that can be possible if duplicate, like example, if ABC and ABC, there are two CIs with the same name. Okay, pupils reference these two CIs in the incident problem chain. So, incident, and change are attached to that, right? So if you want to see in future, you can see it from the related list as well, right? So what incident that particular CI is used and what is this. So when you are going to do the remediation task, make sure try to identify which is more relevant CI to you, or which is, older CI or all updated information CIs. And then if you are selecting this one is a more relevant to you, then you have to be merge the all the informations from this CI to that particular CI. That is one thing. Second thing, another CI which is here, you have to be check why that duplicate is created, right? Means duplicate is not just creating like without any reason, right? So duplicate must be reason to creating by the IRE rules, right? If your IRE rules is fixed, that will not be creating, right? So you have to check the reason that one, and then you have to fix that region. So again, one more duplicate will not be created, and that existing CI which is here, you can put it to retired, right? And make sure whenever you are applying any reference filter on any different tables or any different processes, that retired or non-operational and other CIs will not be showcasing there, right? So that particular things is there. Or you can also delete is also an possibilities, because you have already merged all informations from this to this, so you can also delete it. But it depends on the customer side process, right? Like what customer wants. Customer want to keep all the CIs, or customer want to delete the existing duplicate CIs which you have already merged with the relevant CI. So you can discuss, you can finalize that particular process with the customers as in best practices, right? So let me come back here, and just let's start with these duplicate where two CIs are duplicate, right? Here, if you see in this duplicate task, as I mentioned, whenever your IRE rules is there, automatically based on that duplicate task will be created. Out of the box, there is one property, or I think I think there is one property based on that, it's triggering to create a duplicate task. You can close that as well, but in that case, duplicate task will not be created and you don't have the visibility, right? So here, if you see the duplicate task is created, and it's saying in the computer class based on the serial number, right? So let's just quickly see. Let me go to first of all, CI class manager. Okay, it's showing for computer. It's showing for computer, right? So I'm going to the computer class. Computer, computer. If you see the identification rules, yes, serial number is there, right? So based on that, we can agree that can be found as in duplicate, right? If I go to the CI list and let me add the serial number here as well. Okay, now I just put it the serial number here, and let's go to copy that serial number. See, there are two records you can see here, which is with the same serial number, right? So there is some issue with identifications rule, and might be there is some issue with in which way the data is created, right? So now let me open these both CIs first of all. And before doing or proceeding further for deduplication task remediation, just understand that CI first, right? So if you see, the name is different of the both CIs, right? And asset tag is also different. That is for Acme, North America, Gateway DX, Coral, and this is again for North America. And other informations look same to me, right? It's XP Professional Service Pack 2. The most of the information is also available in this CI as compared to this CI. That have don't much information, right? But in this CI we have installation softwares is also there. We have disk space and other informations available, right? And let's verify the asset as well, right? So I just open the asset as well just to see is what asset says or what asset informations are available, right? So I can see that's assigned to 24th of January 2024 or install on this date is the same thing. No, that's assigned to different dates and all, right, and other informations is there. But end of the day, what looks like to me is the same CI, means with that same serial number, there are two different CIs in created, right? So when I come back to the duplication or remediation task here, that information is already mentioned, and that the two CIs which I just showcase you from the computer table, these also mentioned, means these are the name of the two CIs which is there. What you have to do, you have to remediate this one. Like, we identified this is again this is the main CI or the most relevant CI where the all informations are available as compared to this one, and that's duplicate assets and duplicates CI created for that, right? So we have to remediate. Now it's saying, do you want to remediate using a customer workflow or custom workflow, or you want to use the out of the box? So again, if that's happening in your environment, in your customer side, you can create your custom workflow, and based on that you can trigger and delete those particular things, right? If you want to use out of the box, means my suggestion is, because out of the box is properly configured, so I'm going to use almost always out of the box. Otherwise you can create your custom based on that, following the out of the box configurations, right? And you can do the remediations based on that, right? So I'm going to use the duplicate out of the box, which is recommended here. And once I start the remediation of the duplicate CI, right, these two CIs are available. Now you can see the informations and recommendations which is ServiceNow is also providing to you. So this is most related item, oldest created. This is newest created. It's computer class. That's when that's created. That's information. Who is created? That's created by Carrick. That's created by admin. Updated by system. All informations is there. If you want to add more attribute, you can add more attribute as well, right? But I think the basic attribute or the basic informations which is clarifying to us which one is the most relevant to us, right? So let's select this one as a most relevant for us, right? So that is the first step where we are selecting the main CI which we want to utilize to merge first of all, right? Then we are going to
So,
duplicate merge.
Ajay, based on what
Mhm.
have you selected the second one? Why not the first one? Because that says that's the newest updated. So why are we not selecting that one and selecting the other one? Is it because of the
Right.
most related items or oldest
Right,
created?
exactly right. So because it's most related items available and it's always created, and we have just verified that one, right? If it is the DX series is the newest created, why then no information is available? Means if you see all informations are blank. If you go here, installation is software installation, you can see 10, right? But if I come here in the same way, you can see that information's CPU is available, count is available, RAM is available, OS information is available, and I can see software installation is 13 as well. Means that one is updated for me, right? It just newly created. It doesn't means it's newly created, so all information is available with this one. So that's why, that's provided by recommendation service now. But before going to this, we just need to verify the bot CIs, which one is relevant or most relevant to us. And if you come here, that's not showcasing anything. But if you see to DX series, it is also showcasing here. This CI is duplicate of this one. So if it is duplicate of this one, then main CI will be this one. So that's why I'm selecting it's a main CI to
Got it.
remediate, right? Now, when I start remediate manually, the next step is merge attribute value. So if you see here, merge attribute value, we have 19 attribute which have the different values, right? If you see, uh, one other value, right? So DX series have an operational value, but on another CI don't have an operational value. So we can also merge that particular attributes as well, right? Now, if you see the OS service pack, main CI have the OS service pack 2, but another CI have blank. Do you want to blank? No, I don't want to be. Let's keep like this, right? CPU manufacturer, one have Intel, another don't have, right? So that's why, because another have blank values, that's why also picking that information, right? So with all informations, you want to keep it from the main CI, you can keep it. If you want to keep any value from the duplicate CI, you can go and change that particular one, right? So you can do it here, like hardware status, right? It's in install, it's blank, right? So you can put hardware status to install for that particular one, right? Then again, all information install status is again install, might be that's not maintaining that particular status. If the main CI have the retired and the non-operational status, then you can ignore the main CI, but it's not the case here, right? Categories, it's computer, I'm going to put, let's this, and do not migrate asset hardware. Let's close this one. Let's keep like this. Fail count is, let's put the fail count or fault count from there, and the CPU core count is, let's put. So whatever attribute I feel, other informations, whatever, whenever is a blank, I'm not collecting that informations, but I can see some informations available on the other CIs as well. So I can keep it from the another CIs to update the main CI. So what we did, it's merging the attributes. So we merged the two different attributes from the duplicate CIs. Next is merge relationships and related results, right? So we have, as I mentioned, this is available, this is already selected, but if you see in the available one, we have one relationships here, one relationships here, one relationships here. So wherever the relationships is available, I think we need to select that one to be merged with our main CI. So we are doing that one here. I have just selected all the available relationships where something is available. I'm going to be merge those particular things with the main CI, right? So that's little bit careful, and you can also see the related items like audit results. This particular table chart audit results on the configuration item. One main related CI is a one item, duplicate related CI is a one item, right? So you can also see that informations like the software installation, main has 13, duplicate has 10, right? So you also see that information here. If you want to change, you can also do it, but only if available, configuration or available relationship is there, then it suffices to be get that information is available here, right? Once that done, we can go to the next. Now, as I mentioned, it depends on the customer side process, right? If you want to delete, I can click delete here, and the existing CI or the duplicate CI is going to be automate delete, right? But I don't want to delete the duplicate one. I want to be set operational status is non-operational or retired, whatever. And if I want to set install status is retired. Okay, so let's add this one. So whenever I just proceed to review and confirm, automatically the CI status operational and non-operational for duplicate CI, this one is going to be set, this one, and that again it's not going to be used anywhere, right? So I just started this one, review and confirm, and then I'm going to be start to remediate that thing. Right, remediation is started. It will say showcasing here the deduplication process runs in the backend, and that take will up some time to be confirmed, right? So till the time you just I think I can go, or I can put the operational status here or install status. Now you can see the DX series is put it to non-operational or retired. Means my remediation task has been completed. And if I come here and see, this is also showcasing the close complete, right? If I can go again the task, you can see the notes as well. Whatever changes we have done related to that, duplicate CI to the main CI, that's you are able to see it here automatically, right? So reconciling duplicate CI using the flowing steps that we have changes this, we have merged that relationships, and what we have set retired and non-operational for the another CI, right? So everything that has been updated here, original value, this, what is done, right? On the what steps, what we have configured, everything is pasted as a work note. So in future, if you want to refer it, you can also see it like how you did it, right? Now the second things comes in the picture, which is 147 records. Means that is very, common issues which I see in the customer environment as of now. Pupils comes to me and ask me, Ajay, we have 100 or 200 duplicate CIs. How can I remediate automatically or with a script or something? Because we are not sure. Manually, if we are going to duplicate this, doing this one, it will taking a lot of time, right? Definitely it will take, right? So duplicate, if you have multiple or thousands of duplicate, again, what I always say is, guys, you have to be understand how that's a duplicate, right? You can configure, you cannot, they do this one. Let me go and showcase you one more time, one more thing. I think it's again on computer table, right? So let me come here again. If you see here, the criterion attribute is name here, and if as I showcase you on the computer table already, that yeah, name is also an IRE rules. But if you see all all 147 machines has the same name, but if you see the different serial number are different, right? So as per my understanding, that cannot be a duplicate. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, right? So if I'm just opening two records, because serial number is most of the time unique, right? That is populated by the OEM, or that is maintained by the OEM, who is provider of that one, right? If the serial number is unique, and if you see here the 17 software, here the 13 softwares, and different softwares, different configurations, different location, right? It's assigned to Carla, it's assigned to Cruz, different things. So that are not duplicate, first of all, because you used the name as an identifier in the IRE rules. That's why it's showcasing duplicate. Getting my point? So you have to be little careful to remediate those CIs. Now, what is the best way to do that? You have to be sit with your customer to understand, sir, if I let me do one thing, if I can add something. No. Okay. Let me do add here. One moment. In that case, how I'm going to do that, right? So I'm just going to be update you this one, created, updated, discovery source, most recent discovery. Okay. So whenever person ask me, that's my personal things. Already, if you see status is there, install status is there, I just added created by, updated by, what is the discovery source, right? If if a same type of CI, like populated or created by the same discovery source with two different records, then I can say it's duplicate. But if you see the discovery source is ServiceNow, serial number are different, and if ServiceNow is discovering it, it doesn't mean that is discovering the wrong informations from that target machines. That is, it's a command based discovery, right? Whatever is written in that particular system, inside of the system, we are fetching that informations and populating, right? So it's based on it's created by, it's updated by what is the discovery source, and when most recent discovery has been done, I'm going to be verify those informations to identifying the duplicates things as well, right? So in that case, the serial number is different, it's not duplicate. What I simply do on the deduplication task, I can come here and put it to close complete, but I'm also going to fix the IRE rules on the same time. Means I'm going to remove the name from my IRE rules for this particular class, right? So because I don't want name in the IRE rules. I understand the customer environment having multiple CIs with the same name. And if you see here, I just quickly open these two records as well, where the high count. If you see here, this is also how many? 141 records is there. Again, the name is MacBook Air 13, right? Here it's a serial number one. Here it's an again name Optiplex 469. Means all most of that 141, 147, 141, and 15 is belongs to the name duplicate. And I understand now name cannot be unique in that particular organizations for the computer class. So what I am going to do, I'm going to close this particular task is close complete, but before that I'm going to be fix my uh, basically identification rules, and I'm going to be remove the name from that identifications for the computer class. Name
So if you
lookup.
don't
This
fix the IRE rules, I think again, even if you close it, it will pop up again, right? If the IRE rules are
sorry,
not fixed.
come
If
again.
the IRE rules are not fixed, if we close complete and then again next day whenever it runs, it will again appear.
Yes, right. So exactly that's why I'm mentioning. Before closing this one, I'm going to be fix my IRE rules and then going to be close complete. Otherwise, if my schedule jobs for health rules is running in every 24 hours or every day or every 4 hours, I'm not sure. I mean, based on the configuration, right? So it will again create a duplicate task for us if we are not correcting that informations on the first place. So that's why I'm saying duplicate is working or duplicate is configured completely on the IRE rules. So you guys, you have we guys we have to be little bit I can say little bit I can say safely
Conscious,
need to be
conscious.
right, safely need to be configure the IRE rules. So that's
So Ajay,
how.
are there any standard IRE rules to be set on for all the classes?
Yes, of course. So that's are the standard IRE rules, right? That's configured by ServiceNow out of the box, and that's not configured for class computer directly, first of all, right? That's configured for hardware because hardware is a parent table, and based on that's coming here. Like, so as I already, I think you're not sure you're part of or not, but I mentioned you, if you finalize, if you understand, the hardware which rule is configured on hardware table is not applicable for my computer table. I can go and replace it here. So I simply write the dependent rule directly on my computer table. It's an independent rule which is coming from the hardware. I don't want to be do that, right? So my computer class, my rules, I can do that, this particular things, right? So I want to be remove the duplicates. So that's are the standard rules, which is coming from the service now, and and it's configured on hardware, and it's going to be utilized by every other single table which is part of the hardware. Means if I go you here, it's hardware, right? And hardware, these are the tables, right? If I go to printers, the same rule is there. See, correlation ID, product PID, serial number type name, it's referring by each table. So if we feel, no, that's not for printer, that's not the correct rule, I can go replace here dependent one. Let's save this one and I can create my own rule for printed class. Now you can see identifier entries is there. Now, if it depends, like, how we want to be configured, means if I directly want to be configured from the printer table, so I can go, what is that, priority table main setting. I just let's take an example. On the printer table, these are the fields, but I want to be put on the correlation ID. I can capture this one and let's have one record, one identifier entries is created. Means the based on the correlation ID, I am going to identify the unique. But it's just I can just an example to give it to you. But if you are going to be configure the IRE rules, make sure you will sit with the customer or you will understand what will be the unique value or unique identifier entries you can configure. You have to be little invest, you have to be do little research to understand what will be the unique value you can configure here.
Got
Getting
it,
my
got it.
point?
And like yes, so likewise also for network adapter will that also fall under a hardware
You can
parent
check
table?
here. Network adapter. No, that comes okay, network. Let me Okay, network adapter. No, that comes directly to the configuration table.
Okay, 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 okay,
So,
okay.
and on this
So
particular,
here,
that's the rule. Network
here
adapter MAC address.
the table, yes, the rules has to be set on the configuration level, right? Configuration item level.
No, it's dependent rule, right? You can see independent or dependent. That's dependent. So the rule is configured on the network level table only. That's not coming from the configuration item.
Okay, okay. So the rules have
If
to be
it,
set on the network adapter table. Okay.
yes, you can see this one, dependent or independent, right? If it is
Got it.
independent, that means it's coming from the top, parent table. If it is dependent, it's dependent on this particular table. You can see name is a network adapter applies to network adapter. And if I go to hardware one again, you can see here it's independent. The name is hardware rule applies to hardware and then an identifier for hardwares and then it's going to utilize for the different other tables, whatever the part of hardware. Okay.
Thank you, Ajay.
Now I just stopped you guys earlier for this particular thing, right? Should I close that one? No. Yeah, here. So
And also,
from
Ajay,
this.
one question, one last question.
Mhm.
When also remediating these duplicate CIs, I also saw few of the CIs. It shows as duplicate, but when I open it, it shows as empty CIs. What is that
Mhm.
case? Like there are two CIs which is reflecting as duplicate. So one will have all the details of the CI, and the other one shows everything as empty, but still that shows as duplicate.
But you just need to check based on which attribute they are showcasing duplicate. Means if it is an empty CI, like example this one, right? So if let's take an example, this is empty. Okay, this is empty. But
Okay.
why that's a duplicate based on the serial number, right? No information is there except the three or four, two or three attributes, right? But the more information is available here. So in the duplicate task itself, it's showcasing why it's duplicate. Just check that attribute.
Okay.
Why
Okay.
it's
Okay.
duplicate based on the name, based on the serial number, based on other attributes as well. Because that attribute is picked up by based on the identification rules only. Okay. Now I will come back to this one. Sorry. So if you see guys, this is also one of the way to do the deduplication things, right? So here from the CMDB workspace, you can create a template which help you to which help you to, run your remediation task, right? So you can go here, you can configure that particular means I have never done before that, but that's my understanding says like, you can create a library first, right? So whatever, like, let me give this name, let me put this. I have just created a template or the library and under that I can put the template, right? So let me go and configure the template, right? So see, general informations I can put create condition select means CI merge means this is something based on a let me give an example here, the simple example. Have you seen a template on the incident form as well? Means you created some templates on the incident form. So whenever you click on template, autofill, all informations will be autofill. Have anyone seen?
Yes, Ajay, I have seen that.
Right. So the same thing is here. Like, if you design a template or, you want to delete the multiple CIs, deduplicate one, you can do those particular things, right? But it depends. It depends. You have to be little careful writing the templates basically, right? So if I example putting the test, it depends on which table, right? So my thing is on computer table, right?
Class. Yeah.
Template library I'm selecting. I'm going to do next. What next condition I'm going to be put based on the which fields, right? Where operation status is operational, the next select main CI. But it's giving us information like the newest updated, most related items, oldest created, most. So it's just helping us to helping us to identifying that informations. Like let's take example, I'm just putting some conditions. Select main CI based on some conditions. Like it's non-operational, it's operational, most created and all right, based on the discovery source is this. So you can define a template and based on the template, you can run deduplication task, right? Or remediate deduplication task. But as I mentioned again, you have to be little bit or not little bit more careful while writing that conditions, because the same template will not work for every other CI for deduplication task, right? Might be a one template is work for one or two types of deduplication task, and another template will work for two and another duplicate task, right? Instead of, that's again a good feature which is provided by service, no? But instead of, CMDB is more, more related to the data, right? If anyhow you, run the wrong template and your data has been deleted or, merged with different CIs, everything is reowned, right? So make sure before writing that particular thing, you should understand the duplicate task problems, and then you have verified that informations, and then you are going to do those things. Right. So that's must important, right? So in that case, as I mentioned to you, right, 141 CIs are there, but that's are not duplicate. Why you want to be remediate that one, right? You just need to fix your identification rule. And but for that, if you write a remediation rules using this one, that's going to be, mess up your CMDB or data, right? So you have to be a little bit careful on that. And I'm going to not going to do this one. You can also guys try this particular thing, right? So that's one thing I just want to, hold you for those particular things, right? So you can do those that particular things
So these templates we write it based on the class or
based on the class, based on the class basically. But again, if class is computer, here I also mentioned you, if you see the all is belongs to computer class only, right? But there are three or four type of varieties in this particular one. Are you getting my point? Three or four types of varieties means some are
what do you mean
duplicate
by
based on the
variety?
name, which varieties means conditions basically, right? That are not actual duplicates. So it's not required to be configure a template, right? Means scenarios basically, right? It's duplicate based on the name, example, right? But that are not actual duplicates, right? The same way, it's again based on the serial number. Now you have to be find out that's not possible. If you see, if I can go here and come back to computer, one moment, and going to the CI list, and if I put the serial number, now tell me, let me ask you guys, the serial number is the same for all 11, 15 machines. What do you think? It's duplicate or not?
Yes, it's duplicate Ajay. If the serial numbers are same, it's a duplicate.
Right. So it now you can, that's another variety you can say, or another conditions or another scenario is there, right? So if you are going to be configured one template for computer class, that will react in different way on these machines, and that will react in different way on these machines, right? So same template will not work. Might be you have to be configure multiple templates, right? So that's why I'm saying you have to be little careful while you are writing or configuring that particular thing. That's my
Okay, so
example of varieties basically.
let's say if we have 50 different classes in the
Hmm.
system in the environment, so do we have to create like 50 different templates for remediation?
That's my understanding. Yes, definitely, because that's based on the classes is there.
So ServiceNow would not already have those existing templates, or
As
we
of
have to
now,
sit and
I don't think so. We don't have any existing templates. I don't think so.
based like out of the box based on the
Right.
different classes, yeah. So that if we
No,
have it already in the system, we can just activate those templates and get those
no,
remediated
because
as
that's
a
my
part of it.
PDI. That's my PDI. I'm not able to see that, and I don't think so. There's,
Yes, yes, there
anything
isn't, there
is,
isn't, there isn't. Yeah, we have
yeah,
to create every single thing.
right.
Every single
And
thing.
because why ServiceNow is little careful to providing that information here, because they don't know. Means scenarios, it's where the duplication task scenarios varies based on customer to customer. Right, that cannot be standard based on the serial number, based on the name, based on the PID, based on that, MAC address. That's ultimate, lots of identification rules, and based on that, lots of type of there, right? Might be it's duplicate or it's not. That's why I'm saying, these particular things is to validate or identifying the things. It's not like you can go and just modify or create remediate the duplicate task and fix it. No, first of all you have to do or understand the data. That's the reason. That's why I especially showcase you how you are going to identifying it's a duplicate or not, and then you have to proceed for the remediation task.
And Ajay,
And guys,
when this, go ahead. Sorry.
you go ahead, please. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's say like we already have like 100 duplicate in one particular class, one remediation task. We have got 100, okay, in one class. So we create a template, right? So the already existing 100 duplicate that I mentioned, will this template also resolve the ones that are already duplicated, or will this template will work only for the upcoming duplicates?
No, that's will going to be fix your existing one as well, right? It's just a template. You have to be run that template on the time to time basis, and that will do that, right? Right. So it's just not an issue with that, right? It will do whatever you want, right? But it just configuration things is something bad, right? Now let me give an example. While I'm talking to you, I got a one chance. Now let me ask you two guys, server CMDB CI. That's also sometimes happen, and CMDB underscore CI, and this is on Windows underscore server. Okay. Now we have two machines. Okay, now tell me, is this duplicates?
No, it's not a duplicate. It's a very good example. Yeah, it's not a duplicate.
No, sorry, I just missed to put hyphen. It's duplicate.
Uh, what are these two ABC 1 2 3? Are those the serial numbers or?
Name, serial number, whatever you want. Like, no, let's take a serial number.
Yeah, so if it is a serial number, it's a duplicate. No, but it's a different class. Uh,
Now,
no,
one more
it's not
thing,
a
and
duplicate.
and
It's
that's
not. It's a
created
different class.
manual. That's created manual, and that's come through the discovery. Now tell me it's duplicate or not.
It's a duplicate.
Hmm?
It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. It's a just the different. It's just the difference of different class, but rest everything is same. So
Right.
it is a
So
duplicate. It's a duplicate.
now that's why I'm saying you just need to understand, guys, the ServiceNow class or CMDB class hierarchy or the phenomenal things, right? ServiceNow never says to create a record in the ServiceNow CMDB CI server table. That's the parent table only, right? But always going to ask you the create record in, the designed or that particular table which is belongs to them, right? So in the server table, if you see Linux, HPX, and different tables are there, right? But if you are not, that's why I'm saying manual. Whenever a person comes and I just like example, I given a story to Ansari and mentioned just go and create a record in the server table. He don't know which server table. He comes to and he comes and he creates a server record in server table. That's Ansari's that there is no issue from the Ansari because story is written in like that way, right? So he created one record manually in the server table, but actually that server belongs to the Windows class. When discovery runs, discovery discovered that device and created a one record in the Windows server table, right? Now two record is created with the same serial number with the same informations other. Then it's a duplicate, right? So you have to be take it as a parent or the main CI as a Windows server, and you have to be remove this one because that's manually created, right? It's wrong data which is created in the server table, and that's why I'm saying server table is nothing. You have to be little careful. So no record need to be created in the server table or the hardware table or the network main table, right? These are the main table, which is just to showcase you. If you want to see all servers, you can see in the single way. If you want to see all hardware related things, you can see in single way. That's the main thing which that's why they have designed. But people are not following that information, and that's why it's lit. I just put it a little tricky one.
Yes. Interesting.
So that's why we have to be understand the CMDB. We have to understand the data first before taking or mentioning it's a duplicate or not, right? It's very quick, but yeah, basically the hierarchy data, that's more important to understand in the CMDB side while you are working on any type of these things, right? And make sure if you are not sure, you are not understanding, do whatever things or whatever time you want to do, but don't delete data in the CMDB, never, right, till that time you are not sure.
Not even the
If you
manual
have that,
entries, Ajay? Not even the
sorry,
manual entries?
come again.
Not even the manual entries? Can we
No,
not also
nothing.
delete?
No, never delete anything. Might be
Just
till
retire
that,
it.
just if you want to do, just retire it or non-operational it. But in that way, you have to be understand why the manual entries has been created. What is the reason behind that? What is the serving any other purpose in that organization? Everything you have to be investigate on that side. Okay, I
So,
think
so, so
we
one
are.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Go
One
ahead,
question is
please.
that, if we create like, is there any limit to a specific table that, this, when we buy ServiceNow packages, so will there be any kind of limit to the CIs?
No,
Like,
CMDB don't have any limit to be create any CIs in any specific tables.
no,
We
like,
I can somewhere.
is there any kind of costing, like, if we create 100
No,
CIs, if it's going beyond 100 CIs, they would charge extra for that. Is it something like that?
it licensing is always there for the CMDB, right? But it
Yeah, exactly.
depends.
So just to bring
It,
out, cut down those cost, can we just delete it to bring down the CI count? Because that would
so
increase the
if
cost to the
if it
company, right?
if it is a non-operational or retired, automatically you have cut down the cost. They are not
Okay,
going to
so
be
they
counted
won't
for
they
the
won't charge for the
non-operational.
retired ones. They would only charge for
Yes,
the
they are not going
operational
to be
ones.
charged, right? Non-operational or retired or uninstalled or whatever, right? They are not going to be charged. They are only going to be charged for the operational ones. And where the discovery source is ServiceNow or the service graph connectors and those informations, right? Not for others. That's my
Got it.
understanding. But it more informations and more things will be provided by your ServiceNow representative, basically.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Yeah. Any other questions from anyone else?
I think Ajay, I have one last question, but I think this is not relevant to what we are going on the course right now. It's something
Mhm.
apart from what we are learning nowadays. So my question was, I think if everyone wants to drop, they can drop. So my question was like, we have a scenario wherein, they want all the data from SQL
Mm-hmm.
to be uh, to be transferred to ServiceNow. They want all the data to be pulled into ServiceNow from SQL. So what is the best way? Is that through APIs
You
or
can create a data source, simple, nothing, no need to do. SQL is database, right? So you can
yes?
create a data source from the SQL database and you can pull the data from from that there to service now. And then you can put a transform maps to populate in the target table.
Okay. So is
It's
that the
it's
only
very
way? Can we
simple.
not do that through APIs?
I think we can do if they are ready to expose their APIs, we can do that as well. But the simplest way is, put in the through the data source. And
Okay,
you have the
okay.
control on it, right? Just try to explore the data source things. It's very easy.
Through the data source. Okay.
Right.
So
Example,
is there a script in is there a script in the data source to get the data
no,
transferred?
I don't think so. It depends. It depends. Like, uh, Have you worked on SCCM connector or any connector, right? Service graph connectors. What they are doing, that's also a data source, right? They are also connecting with the SQL database. What you need on that side, you need SQL data source or database IP, host name, and the credentials to access it, and the particular command which you want to run it, right? Means if you want to get multiple attributes, so they will provide you one command, select star this table, and that attribute will be fetching. So that particular commands you want to required from there, and you can configure it. So once you run it, you are able to get the data, and then you able then you have to do is transfer mapping from that source fields to the target fields. I don't think script is required till the time you are not, putting anything specific required things which you want to fetch it. And that's only script is required in the ServiceNow side, not to fetch the data from the data source, means SQL.
So the data, by saying data source, you mean it's that through import set and then like that way, or through load data,
Let
or
let
is
me
that a
showcase
different
you.
process?
No, not that one. Let me showcase you one moment.
Sorry, other guys, for you
No,
keeping you guys
not
waiting.
an issue. It's a good question, and I'm very happy you are asking those things because it's a good one. Let me know once my screen is visible to you. Okay, I'm in the data sources here in the ServiceNow instance. If you see, right? Okay, you are asking for a SQL data one, right? So if I go here, just going to showcase you the new one. Here is the type, right? What you want is the file JDBC. So you have to be configure the JDBC here to get the SQL things, right? So JDBC, you can do that, LDAP, OIDC, REST integration hub, data stream, and you can do these things, right? So you have to put those informations. Let me quickly showcase you from the different one, which is already configured. Example, the network. One data source is configured here. So this is again SQL server, right? You can see the format, right? Here it's there. It's a JDBC. You can use the mid server. In that JDBC, you can use three database, MySQL or Oracle or SQL server, right? So three is thing. You can put the instance name, database name, port, credentials, and that's the statement you required from the customer, right? So they will provide you one SQL statement. Based on that, you are querying to their database and pulling that information. And once you pull that information, you are running your transform app here.
Okay. So do we need to build a connection before we do this? Do we need to build a connection between SQL and ServiceNow, or will
100%,
that be done by?
100%, 100% from the mid server to the target SQL servers, you need to build a connection. I think SQL server, you can see the port, which port they are running their SQL server. You need a connection. You can see database port is required here, right?
Yes.
So that's definitely you build a connection. You require a credentials to do that.
And to
And
populate the
instance,
attributes,
Mhm.
to populate the attributes field in ServiceNow, we'll be defining that in this field, right? Can you just scroll it up? We'll be defining all those attributes in under SQL statement, right?
Yeah, right. They will provide, the customer will provide you that, SQL statement to you.
Okay, okay, okay. So we need to kind of match the fields in the ServiceNow with the SQL statements, right?
Right. So as already once you've done this, you already put it into an import set table, right? That's your import set table or the staging table in simple words, if I say, right? Once you did or put it in staging table, you can do the transfer mapping here. And which source table you are putting, what is the target table, and what you want to do, anything,
Yeah, this is the simplest way. Yeah, makes
right?
sense.
Yeah. Why should we go to the REST API and other things? That's why.
Thank you so much, Ajay. Thank you so much.
No issues, Ansari. Okay, guys, I think we are good for today. I think we can wrap up now and we'll connect tomorrow at the same time. Till the time, have a good day, guys. Thank you.
Here, thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks, Ajay.